Hello there, guys. It is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. It is great to be with you. Today is Monday. It's a great afternoon here, Monday 5th, 2025. Welcome to Inspirations for Your Life. I just say the master topic for the week, which we kicked off just a few days ago, is living with purpose, standing strong, leading with heart. Okay. And the granular topic for today is the power of persistence, series 4, show 19, episode number 3. Welcome, everyone. Well, whether you finished lunch or maybe you're still maybe a little bit hungry or maybe you're just parched, go ahead and run to the kitchen, get yourself something delicious to eat. Maybe it's hot, maybe it's cold, maybe it's just a drink, maybe it's a snack, maybe it's sweet or tart, doesn't matter. Whatever it is, go ahead and grab that and hurry on back to our show so we can kick this off. Well, welcome everyone to Inspirations for Your Life. Thank you so much for choosing to tune in, whether you're tuning in live, or you can also tune in at believemeachieve.com to find more of my amazing, inspiring creations 24 hours a day. All right, guys. So welcome to another transformative episode of Inspirations for Your Life. This is a podcast that challenges you to unlock your full potential and live a more meaningful, purposeful, driven life. I am your host, John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, podcast host, and coach, and your guide on this journey of personal and professional growth. Today, we're diving deep into the power of persistence, a force that separates the dreamers from the doers. Whether you're struggling to reach your goals, facing resistance in your career, or simply need a motivational spark to reignite your fire. This episode is your playbook, everyone. Let's uncover the mindset, science, and the habits that will empower you to keep going and even move forward when it gets tough. All right, guys. Number one, defining persistence versus stubbornness. This is a challenge that some people don't quite understand, what it means. So I want to really break this down for you. And so persistence is the disciplined pursuit of progress. No matter how long the journey or how many setbacks should arise, it's rooted in the purpose and self awareness. On the other hand, stubbornness is often emotionally driven. It's clinging to a path, even when it's no longer aligned with your goals or aspirations. Knowing the difference is key. Persistence says, I will find a way to grow. Stubbornness says, I refuse to change. The most successful individuals in our world can pivot without quitting and staying grounded in their visions while adapting their methods. Let's get clear, everyone. Persistence is powerful when it's intentional. It must be intentional. Number two, guys, real world examples of persistence. See, history is packed with inspiring examples of those who refuse to give up. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times, more than that, 999 times before he invented a working light bulb. He didn't see them as failures, but as steps to success. Walt Disney was fired for lacking imagination. Oprah Winfrey was told she was unfit for television. These stories are more than anecdotes. They are testaments to the strength that comes from not quitting when the world says no. The through line. Each person has to stay true to their vision, and they did. They took consistent action, even when no one else was watching or clapping or cheering them on. We have to be our own cheerleaders, all right? Number three, the science behind persistence. You see, research in psychology shows that persistence is deeply linked to what's called grit, a blend of passion and sustained effort. According to Angela Duckworth, an author of Grit, the most successful individuals aren't the smartest or the most talented, but she said those who stick with their goals long term. Neuroscience also backs this up. Persistence, everyone, rewires the brain's reward system, reinforcing resilience. When you keep going through discomfort, your brain learns that short-term setbacks are not threats, but challenges. This chemical and emotional reinforcement creates long changes that will last forever. Number four, guys, obstacles as stepping stones. When I say obstacles as stepping stones, I think that gets some people into this paralysis mode, but it shouldn't. It should propel you forward. Obstacles aren't roadblocks. Okay. They're training grounds. Every challenge you've faced and ever will face is an opportunity to build endurance, creativity, and problem solving skills. Think of obstacles as necessary resistance that strengthens your emotional muscles. The key is reframing problems not as punishments, but as part of the process. Athletes train against resistance. Entrepreneurs learn from failed ventures. Artists refine through rejection. What separates achievers is that they don't ask if obstacles will come, but how they will rise to the occasion when they do. See, that's the real thing. I mean, it doesn't take a lot of genius to complain, right? A lot of people complain. And I think that's very, very important, okay? Is that we have to understand, what that is. Um, all right. So, number five, daily habits that build persistence. Persistence isn't something you're born with, it's built, it's created in your life. Small, consistent daily actions reinforce commitment. Start by setting clear micro goals you can accomplish within just a day. Track your wins, big or small, because seeing progress builds momentum. Practice self reflection and gratitude to stay emotionally grounded. And most importantly, guys, develop a habit of showing up, especially on the days you don't feel like it. Over time, these practices become rituals of resilience, keeping you on track. I think that's the most important thing when motivation starts to wane or fade. Number six, mindset is the key. And I don't just say this to you to be like, this is like a powerful word. I want you to really understand that mindset is the key and that you should embrace your mindset. All right. So when we think about mindset, your mindset is the engine that powers your persistence. A fixed mindset believes abilities are static. A growth mindset believes every challenge is a chance to improve and become better. Train your brain to expect setbacks and embrace them when they happen. Replace I can't with I can't yet, or I'm not there yet, or I'm getting better every day, or I'm learning more each day, or I'm getting closer each day. Surround yourself with people who fuel your growth and reduce, of course, exposure to those who drain your energy. Your internal dialogue sets the tone. Tell yourself, this is hard, but I'm capable. Mindset isn't about toxic positivity. It's about grounded, strategic optimism. And when you decide that you're going to do this, I don't care who is out there. No one's going to stop you. I've said this before that when you identify with something, it disempowers you if it's negative. If you identify with something and it's good, that will empower you. So I think that's important to understand that little twist there. Number seven, guys, encouraging others to stay the course. So many people I know will just give up because the course looks too hard, or they feel they might fail, or the course isn't comfortable. I've said before, ladies and gentlemen, you've got to practice getting comfortable being uncomfortable. You have to practice getting comfortable being uncomfortable. That's a real powerhouse there, really important. Okay. So persistence becomes more powerful when it is shared. Whether you're a leader, a coach, podcast host like myself, or a friend, one of the greatest gifts you can offer is belief in someone else's journey. Encourage others to focus on progress over perfection. Share your own struggles so they feel less alone. Help them revisit their why when they feel like quitting. Sometimes just knowing someone sees your potential can be the fuel someone needs to keep going. Be that voice, be that light at the end of the tunnel. And I think a lot of people, I don't know, I think they just kind of give up. And the reason they give up is because they've been hearing it so many times from others that it's not possible, right? It's not possible. And I think if you hear it enough times, you're probably going to just say it's not possible because you keep hearing it. So you've got to be mindful with what you repeat. Got to be mindful with what you repeat. Got to be mindful what words come out of your mouth. Okay. And I think that's a big step for a lot of people. But I know that persistence, as you all know, it's the thread that weaves all success stories together. It's not glamour and it's rarely easy, but it's always worth it. The next time you want to give up, remember the breakthrough might just be one more step ahead, just one more step. I think that's something that is so remarkable and something that can be proven time and time again. But the reason that most people give up is because they've let other people manipulate them. Now, they didn't want to let them manipulate them, but they did. I said this before, when you allow somebody else to take your joy, or when you identify with something, it has control over you. It has that way of disempowering you. So when we think about persistence versus stubbornness, early in my entrepreneurial career, I found myself pushing a project that just wasn't working. I believed that if I kept grinding, success would follow. But the truth was, I was being stubborn, not persistent. It took a mentor to show me that adjusting course doesn't mean giving up, that a shift in thinking changes everything. What's the lesson? Well, true persistence is grounded in purpose, not an ego. It's about flexibility and having enough of that to evolve while being focused on your end goal. Once I embraced that I was able to redirect my energy into strategies that actually move the needle, I let go of what's not working and I stayed committed to what matters. All right, number two for a lesson, real world examples of persistence. When I first launched one of my businesses, I hit a wall after some challenges, and then another wall. Lost money, made mistakes, and had moments where I seriously doubted myself. I often looked at people like Oprah and Walt Disney for strength. Their stories reminded me that rejection doesn't define you, but your response to it does. So you're going to get cards of all different kind, from good to mediocre to bad. And so it's how we choose to respond that makes us who we are, that shapes our character, that defines whether people want to help us or not. As I've said this before, persistence, okay, isn't always glamorous. It's silent progress. It's saying, I'll try again, even when there's no applause. These stories are fueled by the mindset. And I realized that every time I showed up, I was building something more powerful than success. I was building an arsenal of resilience. Let their examples be proof here that persistence always leaves a legacy, but few that say, I can get persistence right away and don't get it, will cause themselves to be, let's say, disempowered. A science behind persistence. I used to think that persistence was just a personality trait, something you had or you didn't. But once I started learning about neuroplasticity and the science of grit, everything changed. I realized I could train my brain to become more resilient just by consistently leaning into discomfort and sticking with challenges. So there were days I wanted to just quit, but instead I reframed the struggles as an exercise, like lifting weights for my brain. It was like when it didn't work out, I said, okay, I didn't like that day, but you know what? Tomorrow's going to be better. Today was a little challenging, but tomorrow's going to be better. And over time, it got easier to push through those tough times. I've said before, tough times never last, tough people always will. Tough times never last, tough people always will. And over time, guys, it got easier to push through all that. Knowing there's real science behind persistence gave me permission to allow myself to keep showing up, even when progress felt like invisible, like something that was out of a fairy tale that could never exist for me. Number four, obstacles as stepping stones. I know lots of people that they literally look for an obstacle and that's like their excuse to shut down. It's like they don't necessarily want to go forward. They just want to shut down when they have an obstacle. Some of my greatest growth came from some of the messiest, most uncertain moments in my life. I remember a client's project years ago that completely fell apart. At the time, I felt like a failure, but in the hindsight, it taught me more about communication, boundaries, and leadership than any win ever could or did. Every obstacle has a hidden lesson or lessons. If you're willing to look, now when challenges arise, I ask myself this question: what is it here in this moment that I should be seeing or hearing to teach me something? That mindset, okay, flips fear into curiosity. I've learned that obstacles that appear to be in the way are not there to stop you. They're there to shape you. They're there to train you so that you'll be ready the next time. You know what, ladies and gentlemen? If you do not learn your lesson, the universe is going to keep presenting more obstacles. I'm sorry, but it's going to do that over and over and over again. It's going to be the same lesson. The same lesson. I found that persistence is built in the quiet moments when no one's watching. For me, it started with a commitment to journaling, to meditating, and reviewing my day to day each night, celebrating even the smallest wins. That helped me create a pattern of progress I could trust even when momentum felt slow. Discipline isn't about huge leaps, it's about consistent steps, showing up every day, even when motivation is so low on your totem pole, and creating a structure. I could then be able to lean on what life had for me, even when it was chaotic. These daily habits became my lifeline and allowed me to keep moving forward, even when the finish line felt so very far away. You know, ladies and gentlemen, your mindset is the key. Your mindset is the key. So, what are you waiting for, guys? You need to harness your mindset. That is very, very important. There was a problem at one point in my life where I kept asking, why is this so hard? Then I realized that the question was disempowering me. The shift came when I started asking, when can I learn from this? How can I learn from this? That subtle change unlocked a whole new level of growth. Your mindset is your lens on your world. When I choose to believe the challenges were helping me grow and not break me, things shifted. I wasn't afraid to try, to fail, and to try again. The key is feeding your mind with thoughts that energize you, not drain you. It all starts, ladies and gentlemen, with how you talk to yourself. And I know you're probably saying to me, John, well, I don't talk to myself only. Yes, it's important to talk to yourself. Maybe not out loud, but you can when you're alone. Um, Talk to yourself so that you'll understand why things are the way they are, and you'll get yourself to change. I think that's a very, very important thing. Number seven, guys, encouraging others to stay the course. You know, maybe you're on a team, or maybe you're working on a new project. You might be saying, I can't do this, but you can. And if you realize life is about perspective shifts, then what you thought the other day was impossible, maybe not even probable, sort of shifts into a different pathway. Maybe that way didn't even seem visible. So I've been working on something for a while. And this morning, I'm not going to share what it is because it's a brand new concept that I'm working on for one of my businesses. But I got this idea that popped in my head. Now, it was kind of around me the whole time, but something said to me, hey, John, you should do this thing one of your friends is doing. And I said, well, it wouldn't be competition because they're in a completely different area than we are. And I said, you know what? I should do this. They're far enough away from me, and this could be something that takes this one business to another level. And I think that's important to understand is that sometimes what makes that shift is just looking around and saying, why don't I just give that a try? So I'll never forget the time a friend told me, quote, "You believed in me when I didn't believe in myself," end quote. That moment reminded me how powerful it is to simply show up for someone else. Whether it's offering encouragement, listening without judgment, or sharing your own journey, it matters. I'll never forget the time a friend told me again, "You believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. You believed in me when I didn't believe in myself." That's enough, guys, to get people to another level. We all hit walls. I'll probably hit them more than once. And sometimes the thing that keeps us going isn't our own strength, but it's someone else's voice reminding us that we're all capable. I try to be that voice now for everyone, for clients, for people watching my podcasts all over the world, for friends and listeners. You never know who's holding on by a thread, and your words might be the thing that helps them keep going. Whether it's here live watching me, whether it's at believemeachieve.com, or whether it's people watching me on cable TV. I never know who needs the information, but I do know that the people that need this information will find me. And it is my hope that they will decide to listen to my advice and then hopefully slowly implement what I'm sharing in their life. Now, remember something, ladies and gentlemen, I could give all the great ideas in the world, okay? But they're not going to matter to anyone until what? Until the person believes they were their own ideas. So people, even though they might not have an ego, they still have a little bit of sense of pride. And I think when we think about the power of persistence, right? Persistence means not giving up. Persistence means that if I'm comfortable doing this right now and doing something else is going to make me uncomfortable, well, then darn, I should do that. I should get uncomfortable. I'm not telling you to go in pain, right? I'm not telling you to go in pain, but I am telling you to push the envelope a little farther, to get uncomfortable, to take some risks, okay? And it's that time when you're uncomfortable when the magic starts to unfold in your life. And then it's like, I didn't know I could do this. Yes, you can. Sometimes it takes a friend. Sometimes it takes a mentor like myself. Sometimes it takes a family member to say, you know what? You're pretty powerful, right? You are pretty powerful. And that's something that a lot of people, I feel, just want to have, but they don't always ask for it. And the reason they don't ask for it is because they feel too much pride. They feel that if they do ask that question, that, they're not smart enough. You see, let me just share something with you. Regardless of what your journey is, whether you're going back to school like myself, whether you're in a relationship, whether it's at work, no one expects you to be your ultimate self just by you. There are people in this world that can help you. And what I mean by help is that they're here to give you your advice. They're here to give you moral support. They're here to give you energy, to stroke you, to get you to go further. How many of you remember a race? You guys know the New York Marathon, right? So I'm one of the security people in the New York Marathon for the last couple of years. And one of the things we do, beside make sure people stay safe and beside understanding that, no incidents happen, we cheer on the runners, like, good job, good job, good job, good job. Way to well, that's the way, that's the way, that's the way, that's the way. Way to go, way to go, way to go. Keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. That's it, that's it, that's it. Come on, come on. That's the way, right? And that charges people, right? That charges people. And not only is my voice charging you, but you can see in my face, you can see in my bio. Yes, come on. That's the way. That's the way. That's the way. Yeah. Come on. That's a good job. Good job. Good job. Good job. Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up. That's it. That's it. Right. that gets people to dig a little deeper in themselves when they thought the tank was empty. There's a little bit laying in there that suddenly got charged. Okay. Um, and I think that's a miracle in itself. All right. It's a miracle in itself because most people don't understand why these things happen. And I'm going to tell you why they happen. They happen because people need to understand. People need to realize that your best life will happen when you get empowered. When you get empowered. When you get empowered. And so, what does that mean? I think what it means is that people give up or they quit the race before they've even gone the first mile. So, motivation can be something that is so powerful for people. Just hearing my voice say, that's the way, keep going, that's the way, good job, good job, good job, is great. But you need to be your own cheerleader because sometimes those people don't show up right away. And you can't be waiting for them to pat you on the back because maybe they're not there. And your journey, especially as an entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur, it gets lonely. So you have to realize that you have to dig deep. You know why you're doing something. You know it's your core. You know it's your passion. And that should be enough, ladies and gentlemen, to take you to the next level. But I realize that some people get stuck with the next level because, like, oh my gosh, what if this person thinks this? What if this person thinks that? Okay, what if they think it? Who cares? Who cares if they think that? What if you changed your questions to things that were more positive? What if somebody discovers me in this race? What if I come in first place? What if this is just the first race of many? What if this leads to an entirely different life for me? What if this gives me a whole new type of health? There's lots of ways you can flip this. You can use your imagination to create your reality. But remember, what you think about, you will bring about. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. Please do be sure to check out BelieveMeAchieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations. And I'll catch you guys real soon. Have a great rest of your day or evening.